Lenexa is one of the most popular in-demand suburbs on the Kansas side right now, but there's one giant problem, which is the housing shortage in Kansas City. It's hitting all of the suburbs, and especially Lenexa, because there aren't a ton of pre-existing or older homes that are actually on the market and available for purchase. And when you do come across them, usually it means you're getting into bidding wars because a lot of people want to live there, which leads us to one of the biggest opportunities of this year, which are new homes. So in this video, we're going to cover 3 of some of the best new home communities in Lenexa. And if you subscribe and come back for part 2, we'll cover several of the other ones that we're not able to get to in this video. Now, before we get started, I've got to let you know, these are the way that I've ranked these. It's totally arbitrary. There's no, like, this is the best one, this is the worst one. They all serve different purposes and feed into different values. So regardless, I think there's probably 1 or 2 or maybe 3 that would fit your needs and what you're looking for. So with all that said, let's get started with number 1, which is Prairie View at Creekside Woods. Prices in this community range from like the upper 500s to over $800,000, and this is not a community where you're going to find the twin villas or the patio homes or anything like that. These are full-blown single-family properties on estates that are reasonably sized, I think, and there are several homes that are either lots that you can build on or homes that have already started construction and are very close to completion. So here's a picture of the plat map to give you an idea. You can see that there are a couple of future phases that will be rolled out very soon, but you can see the kind of the outside perimeter of the community. A lot of those homes have not sold yet, and a lot of them happen to be walkout lots, which are usually the most premium, the best lots that everybody wants. It basically means that if you've got a basement, you can walk right out from the basement into the backyard, and usually that means you'll also have a deck off of the main level and stairs running down to the backyard. So it's just a really good setup. And in this community, one of the things that really stands out is that you've got a lot of small to medium-sized builders, and we'll talk about and unpack that a little bit more in a second, but let me give you an idea of the location. So here's a picture of where it is on the map. You are just west of K7, and while K7 is close and gives you the benefit of being able to get to and from north and south fairly quickly, it's not a situation where it's so close that it's going to be an invasion of privacy or cause any noise pollution. In fact, I can tell you out of the several times I've been to this new home community that while there's a lot of construction, you're not able to even hear. I wasn't even aware of how close the highway is because it feels nice, private, and quiet. You've got a lot of roundabouts on the streets outside of the community, which is really efficient traffic-wise. So you're not running into any crazy issues like that or any noise pollution. Now, you are in the Olathe Public School District, and Lenexa is kind of a wild card because it doesn't have its own dedicated public school district. In fact, it's served by many of the school districts surrounding the city. So the Olathe Public Schools happens to be one of the best school districts in the entire state of Kansas. In fact, the way that the rankings go are Blue Valley is number 1, and then DeSoto's number 2. Olathe Public Schools have that number 3 spot according to niche.com. But to be in all fairness, those rankings are so arbitrary. It's like splitting hairs because what's good for one person, kind of like these communities, could be totally different for somebody else. So these are very good schools. You feed into the Olathe Northwest High School, which is a very nice school. It's also very new, and it's one of the highest rated ones in the district. And the elementary and middle schools are just around the street. You've also got St. James Academy, which is a Catholic high school, right there as well. One of the perks of working with those builders is, yes, they're still building a decent volume of homes, right? They're not building quite close to 100 homes a year, but they're building enough where they're going to be able to both pass down some cost savings onto you, and they're also going to be able to give you more one-on-one guidance. And that's one of the major benefits of working with a lot of these builders. So the full list, I'll read it for you just so you've got an idea. You've got DCB Homes, Newmark Homes, which is actually owned by Don Julian, but they're kind of the smaller category of Don Julian, who's very respected home builder in the area. You've got Gabriel Homes, who builds the possibly the most popular floor plan in all of Johnson County, which is the McKenna 2, and I'll put a picture of it on the screen and I'll show you some footage of one of the ones that I've walked through. You've got Classic Homes, you've got Poly Homes, and of course you've got Rozier Homes. So those are the builders. Like I said, there are a lot of walkout lots around the perimeter that are still available to be purchased, or homes that are in the process of being constructed. And I can tell you that popular McKenna 2 2 floor plan. They've got several, they've got like a handful of those going up right now, but I think they're going to go pretty quick just because of how popular they are. Go ahead and reach out to me. All of my stuff is in the description below, and we can make sure we get you access to those homes before they're gone. Now, in terms of the amenities, you've got the pretty standard stuff that you'd see in a lot of other new home communities. You've got the pool that's on site. You've got trails that the city of Lenexa is going to be installing and developing throughout the area. And of course, it's nice, quiet, and very walkable. Not that you're going to be able to walk to stores, but it's going to feel very safe when you're actually in the community. Now, we are in the same location, kind of, for number 2. We're going right across the street to Arbor Lake, which is a Rodrock community. Rodrock happens to be one of the most popular, biggest developers in Johnson County, which they only work in 4 cities. So Overland Park, Olathe, Lenexa, and Shawnee are the only cities they're developing in, which means they can keep a kind of a tight-knit crew, a really good eye on what's happening, and make sure all of these communities are very similar, providing you the best experience. So we're going to break that down a little bit more. All you need to know is that the prices are about $600,000 and up from there. I haven't seen a ton that's under, like, let's say $800,000. So between the upper 500s at the very minimum, and then probably like the upper 700s is as much as you're going to get. So this is a very good price range. You're going to get a very good home for the price, and they have just unlocked a brand new phase of over 30 home sites where you can pick your lot and end up customizing and building your own home according to whatever floor plan that you're interested in. So they have not started building spec homes yet, but I would assume that that's in the process of happening. And if you wanted to build your own home, that's kind of the opportunity that you'd have as of right now. Now, here's a picture of all of those homes that have just been unlocked, and there you can see there's a pond in the middle of the community. Some of those home sites actually back up to the pond, which means you'd have no neighbors behind you. And in a lot of these communities, the lots that back up or that are on the perimeter of the community, there's a good chance they're walkout lots. Those are the most popular, and those are the ones that I would be looking at if I was buying a home in this community. Now, kind of like we touched on, we're right across the street, so the location, it's not going to change very much. The schools don't really change very much. They're all very close. Olathe Northwest High School is under 10 minutes away. The elementary and middle schools are just 3 to 5 minutes away. Now, they do have several homes in the process of being built. That's what you see in blue on the plat map, and those are anywhere from just started construction to most likely getting close to being move-in ready. So if you're on a tight timeline, they've got some options in this community too. However, as you can see, they're fairly limited. There are, let's say, under 10 available as of right now, and you could be watching this months later, so just go ahead and reach out to me to make sure you've got a really good pulse on what's available and what's not, because sometimes they don't all make it onto the website or that Zillow or the home search sites for that matter. Now, you've got 3 builders, Rodrock being one of those builders, and they're one of the biggest builders in the entire Kansas City metro area, despite only working in those 4 cities that we talked about. You've also got Prairie Homes, which is another higher producing home builder. I can tell you that I've got one client who's under contract on a Prairie home right now, and we really liked what we saw. The inspection passed with flying colors. We've got a little bit of cosmetic stuff, but overall what we really care about when buying a home is that all of the structural stuff is there, because little ticky-tacky cosmetic stuff can always be fixed. Now, the other home builder in this community is Hillman Home Building. They build in a lot of the same communities that Rodrock and Prairie Homes build in across Overland Park, Olathe, Lenexa, and many more. So what you're seeing right now is some footage of their Chesapeake Ranch, which is one of their most popular floor plans. The one you're seeing on the screen is actually reverse, and there happen to be a lot of reverse 1.5 story homes in Kansas, which, if you're not familiar with them, is just basically a ranch with a finished basement is all it is. Usually you'd want to get these on a walkout lot so that that basement can walk right out to a patio. It's great for entertaining, and it's something a lot of people are interested in. Now, in terms of the amenities, you've got very similar amenities in this Rodrock community as opposed to many of the others that you'll find, which are, you've got the classic pool, you've got a kind of a shallow end of the pool, a splash pad area without it being a separate pool, and then of course you've got that pond that I showed you on the plat map that is stocked so that you can go fishing if you'd like to. You've also got trails throughout, so it's a very walkable community, very safe and private, similar to number 1. It's just you're going to get different builders and a different type of price point in this community. So far in the video, we've been west of K7, and that's kind of been our reference point. Well, we're going to hop across the highway to the east side, Now we're closer to Lake Lenexa and Black Hoof Park, and we're just a little bit closer to Shawnee Mission Park in the Lenexa City Center, which is basically the heart of Lenexa. So number 3, it's Watercrest Landing. This one threw me for a total loop because I geek out on this stuff. I love finding out which new home communities are doing what and what the opportunity. It makes it easier for my clients. I get to put this information out to you, and it's just interesting to me. So this one, I've only seen a couple listings in the MLS or the home search sites for a couple of these homes. I had no idea how big in scale this master plan community actually is. So here's what it looks like. It is just massive. So you do have those apartments, the townhomes, and then kind of some other commercial and multifamily development nearby, but you've also got a decent barrier of green space, an entire road that kind of insulates you from that. And then on the other side, the western side of all of those townhomes, apartments, etc., you've got the highway. So same deal, you've got quick access to the highway without it being an invasion of your privacy where it's going to cause a bunch of noise pollution. Now, in terms of the location, again, not much changes. You do have the on-site amenities basically of being near Lake Lenexa and Black Hoof Park, but you're still in the Olathe Public School District. So nothing really has changed much there. And we're going to go into like the different phases of construction, the builders, and of course the amenities. So phases 1 through 2. Here's a picture of what they look like right now. You can see that everything in yellow is a lot for sale, and everything in blue is something that'll be unlocked as more of these lots are sold and the community actually starts to be built out. Now, one secret about these communities is the newer they are, the best deal you're probably going to get. Because once they sell out and they start demonstrating demand for the area, there's going to be a premium in terms of the price. Not all of them do that, but that's usually what happens. That's the kind of pattern you'll see in these. Now, on this specific plat map, you'll notice that lots 64 through, let's say, 62, those are probably going to be the most premium lots you can get, right? You've got even lots 81 through 79, you've got backing to green space. You might have to clear some of those trees if you want the lot to be usable. All comes down to what it actually looks like in person, but those are the ones that are going to offer the most privacy. They're going to be bigger, and oftentimes those are the lots that are going to be the walkout lots that everybody's looking for. Now let me show you phases 3 through 6 because it gets crazier. So you've got the amenity center smack dab in the middle of the community, and you've got several different neighborhoods. You can see there are different sizes of the lots based on the different phases. So you'll have one section, one neighborhood of this community where you'll have bigger lots, one neighborhood with some medium-sized lots, and then one neighborhood with some smaller sized lots. That's generally how it goes. Now, in terms of the builders, I'll show you a picture on the screen. These are all builders that are small to medium size. So very similar to Prairie View at Creekside Woods. These are all builders who are going to be able to do a little bit more hand-holding, that have tighter knit crews, that aren't building upwards of 100 homes every single year. So this frees up a lot of time, means they can spend more time building your home, making sure it's high quality. And some of these builders even hire out their own independent third-party inspectors like Comerio Homes. Now, a good chunk of these builders build in Cedar Creek, which is a master plan community in Olathe, Kansas, that's on the Shadow Glen Golf Course, one of the biggest in the city. These are all very high quality builders is what I'm trying to say. So now the amenities. This is the last part of the video, the amenities in Watercrest Landing. All we've got right now are concepts and kind of the renderings that the architect has drawn up. So here's what it looks like as of right now. You can see you've got a pool smack dab in the middle. What you see to the right of the pool is actually a fully stocked catch and release fishing pond. So you could totally go fishing, but they bring in a big truck and fill it with fish. It's just you got to release them, and you can't like take them home or do anything like that. So, and I don't think you'd want to with some of the fish. Now, you've also got a pickleball court you can see in the south side of the picture. This also doubles kind of as a basketball court, I believe. I believe they've got a basketball hoop there as well. And then you've got tons of trails and little walkways throughout the community, which is super nice. Taking the kids on a walk, taking the dog on a walk. This seems to be a very nice community. Oh, now one thing that I forgot to mention is what you see kind of like the squiggly lines alongside the outer edge of the pool, and we'll highlight those so you know what I'm talking about. That's actually a mini golf course, which talk about some unique features, some unique amenities in these communities. That is not something that I've come across in many of the other communities that we've spotlighted on this channel. So that's one that's pretty cool, that really stands out. So there you have it, 3 of some of the most popular new home communities in Lenexa. And as you can tell, I was being very specific there. These all have different strong points, advantages, disadvantages. It all comes down to your unique situation, which you value into in a home in a new home community as well. So those are 3 of them. Again, I'm going to do a whole second part covering some twin-sided villas. We'll also cover some standalone villas in addition to another new home community that's very similar to this and actually is very close to the first 2 we talked about. So subscribe so you see that video, hit that like button if you enjoyed this, if you found it helpful. And of course, just like kind of what we talked about with Watercrest Landing, not all of these homes actually make it onto the MLS or even make it onto the website that's dedicated to these communities. So when you're looking for homes, especially in a really tight market like what we're seeing right now, it's important that there's no stone left uncovered, because there could always be that hidden gem that could just be the deal of the neighborhood that we want to make sure we're uncovering, so you've got as many opportunities in front of you as possible. I would love to make that happen. Again, I scour all of these homes so that that's not an issue that you have to run into, and you've got all of the options served up on a silver platter. If you'd like any one-on-one help, all my contact info is below. Give me a call, text, email. We'll have a conversation and we will hit the ground running. Thank you for watching the video. I will see you on part 2.